Hello, people. I am now starting a new live broadcast, and this one is about some insanity that has happened just in the last couple days. As you know, the Wim Hof video came out and it was taken down and it was put back online shortly thereafter that. And there's been this little bit of a seesawing action going on. And most recently hit me with another privacy complaint where he basically doesn't want that video of Wim teaching hyperventilation in water to be online at all. So I've blurred out faces, and there's I'd say about a 70% chance that that video stays up. But if it doesn't, that's no problem because I will then be able to fix the audio that is there. With another privacy complaint, and I'm working on this whole, what do you call it, streaming platform and trying to figure out how to do it. So there will be some glitches here and there, but worry not, it's all going to be okay. So the first thing that I want to show you is after the video came out, I've of course been overwhelmed with comments, and people fall into basically two camps. There is the camp that's like, go Scott, you're revealing important and necessary information about the Wim Hof Method, and some people have their own stories about passing out in water and other dangerous things. But there's this other camp of, we can just call them the true believers. Right? These is a camp of people who saying anything about Hof that is at all critical comes back with sort of this immediate heavy-handed response. And those people really, they do not like me, and they have lots of things to say about how I'm a yellow journalist, about how whatever. But one of the people who sent me a note showed me this video from the BBC, and I'd seen clips of it before, but this was crazy because, what most people are saying who don't like my general approach to the world, those people are saying that I have misconstrued what Wim is teaching, that when I have this video footage of Wim hyperventilating in water, it's out of context. Either it's like a religious ritual and everyone understands that religious rituals are not trainings, or they say he's not really hyperventilating in water, he's Wimming in water, he's doing something else. Well, then this guy sent me this BBC video, and I'm going to flick to it right now, and we're going to play it, and we're going to talk about what this looks like. This was from Freeze Your Fear, which was a huge special, went all over the UK, and really bolstered his reputation there. And remember, this is going out to everyone in the UK, okay? Here we go. I'm going to turn me to small.
Wim is going to demonstrate the swim under ice, but he's going to travel a huge 10 meters.
Oh my
10
God, guys.
meters underwater.
Easy does it.
Go.
Good luck, Wim.
Easy.
Yes.
Good luck, Wim.
Just be at ease. There you go.
Okay.
Go. Good luck, Wim.
Good luck, Wim.
Embrace the cold.
Do you reckon even he gets nervous doing this?
I think they're more nervous because, as I'm always thinking, it is health and safety from a man in a caftan with no trousers on.
I know.
And you've got to let go then.
Yeah.
You learn to let go.
He's a
don't you?
crazy guy in a caftan, and you have to learn to let go. Don't worry about safety.
How does he do that?
How does he get into the water? Look at him. This is it. Look at him right now. Can you hear all that?
He's gonna swim all the way.
That's all. That's him hyperventilating in water. This is on the
This
BBC.
guys is a beast.
He's taking
It's a long way,
10 deep breaths,
It's a
20
long
deep
way.
breaths. They're all watching him, and he is scrubbing off his CO2, and he is teaching everyone in the UK to
he's in the
scrub. Full deep breath inhale, right?
Shit.
After scrubbing, that is the recipe for shallow water blackout once again. And oh my God, look at him. He's not swimming really. He's pulling himself along a rope, which is, I mean, it's honestly not that scary. Let's just be honest. It's just like cold water and he's underwater.
Oh, this is the
Huge
one.
How long are we
dramatic.
going to leave it? When's it going to go from light entertainment to panic?
Don't.
When's he
don't.
gonna panic?
He's not even here.
It feels like a very long time.
That's been a while now.
Oh, he's going that way.
Oh,
Is
he's
he
not
gonna
come
make
out.
it?
It's not come up.
Where is he?
No. Is he gonna? Wait, he missed the hole, guys.
He's not going to try and go to there, is he?
Where's he gone? Where's he gone? Oh my God, he's going to the
No,
other
it's gonna be
one.
the whole way.
No way.
No way is he swimming 50 feet. Look at all those holes. Did Wim skip?
Wim!
Oh my gosh,
Wim!
you've just terrified the whole crew.
Everyone was scared.
Wim, You were
Everyone.
supposed to go to that one.
What?
You were supposed to go to that one, I
Oh
think.
shit!
Alrighty then. Okay, so what we saw there, other than the false drama that happens in television programs, what we saw was Wim repeating his famous underwater swim from Finland, right? The instance where he almost drowned on his first attempt because he skipped the first hole and went to the second hole. He scrubbed, he passed out the first time. Scrubbing means you blow off all your CO2. So he scrubs off his CO2. He passes out. He gets rescued by a rescue diver, and then the next day he goes off to win the world, the Wim Hof world record, the Guinness world record for some sort of underwater swim thing. But as I noted in my other video, The Rise and Fall of the Wim Hof Empire, that was a bad situation to begin with because we've valorized him hyperventilating in water and doing the recipe for shallow water blackout. In this video, the one that the BBC just put out, that was in 2022, he's just repeating the same mistakes, and he's showing people on a major network that you're supposed to hyperventilate in water before you, if you want to be like Wim. And there's also that passage where one of the dudes who's watching him says, oh, well, he's just a crazy guy in a calf stand. You just have to trust him. We just have to trust him. Well, this is exactly why I'm out here trying to tell you that you should not trust a madman. Yes, the method works. There's great things about the method, but Wim, I mean, he's just off script, and he's just very entertaining to watch, but he is way, way, way off script. All right. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you that it's not only the videos that I had in the main Rise and Fall of the Wim Hof Empire, but it's really all over the place. Like, this is common stuff for Wim to do, and I'm not just making things up. Now we're going to go to the other one. This is his original water training.
It is a challenge. And after the showers, the 1 minute beginning in the cold shower with previous breathing techniques, and then in the end,
I don't know how to fast
1 minute,
forward.
with
Is the problem
breath.
here.
Today we are going to do and practice
I don't have the.
in ice.
I had the ability to fast forward
Not
before.
only ice cold, -3 degrees Celsius, because the water is streaming over there. It's colder than 0 degrees.
Okay. Well, here's Wim talking
doesn't
about
matter.
like
We are just now ready.
we're just dudes.
As
We're
you
just
are.
ready. We're gonna
So if you got the
learn to
opportunity to
hyperventilate
do
in
so,
water together, guys.
Then check it out. Make a hole in the ice. Go easy, determined, over there, because you're ready. Your body is ready.
Yeah, your
mind
body's
is
ready. You've been doing this for 8 weeks. Make a hole in the ice.
The only thing is, learn to be conscious that you can.
Yeah, be
That you
conscious that you
are
can do this.
able to do that.
This is the training video that they do not want me to have.
Just conscious.
Have I? Yeah, someone just asked me, have I considered reaching out to Rogan? I would love to go and do that. I would love to go talk to Rogan. Someone send Rogan an email. Okay, so here's the training itself. Dude, shaking Wim's hand. Wim pulling up his pants. They're manly men going into the water. Walkie walk. Is the sound coming in right here good for you guys? I mess with sound settings a lot. So I would totally fast forward this if I could, but I don't actually have the ability. Okay. He walks down in. His friendo walks down in. Okay, so here they are, looking at each other. Now here Wim is, if you have to zoom in, You can see he's doing the same breathing he was just doing in the BBC, right? In, out, hyper. This is slow. This is slower than the average Wim Hof breathing, but it's still fast, deep breaths, and that's really the critical part here. Breathing, they're still breathing, now they're in. And they're going to stay here for quite some time. I think it's about a minute. And we keep going and going and going and going. And this is the thing. I'm gonna actually stop this. It's like a 20-minute clip. Oh, I can't do it. Okay, I'm going back in. Okay, so all right. It's me again, Big Scott. This is Big Scott's my name for this shot that you're seeing. Okay, so now we've seen two different things, right? We've seen Wim teaching it at the BBC to millions of people. That's his private course that you just saw. And then at the end of that, if you remember in the other video, he gives all these explicit instructions, and there's warnings on the side of the screen saying, don't do what Wim is doing in water. Doing what Wim does in water is dangerous. And that is directly contradicting to the thing that you just saw. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to reach out, as we have, the true believers got very angry at me, but one of the truest of true believers is a guy named Bleep. It's a guy named Bleep, okay, who happens to be Wim Hof's son and the CEO of the organization. And Bleep... I can't believe I'm calling him Bleep. You could call it, maybe we could just say that his name is Enahm. Okay, so Enahm, who happens to be Wim Hof's son, has been showing up on all of my feeds and impersonating people. He makes brand new accounts, and then he posts videos to pretend that he is like an original other user, some just normal YouTube user, and that he wants to say things. And this is one of his accounts. I am about 99% sure this is a name. Here we are. We're going to go here. Okay. And I'm going to have to change the browser size window to make this fit the screen. All right. Sorry. This is a little tricky to get this. All right. Here we are. Can you see that? Does that fit? Here he is coming in as a guy named Jerry White. Okay, Jerry White. This account was made the day before this thing showed up. And he says, remember Scott Carney is a grown man addicted to video games, LOL. Laura Krantz, his wife, wants to leave him for various reasons, including his weird fetishes. Hilarious to see this bottom feeder try to slander someone else. He clearly doesn't care about people who have drowned. He's a fake loser with no life. I am, again, basically positive this is a name. But I actually sort of also find this a little bit humorous, even though it is the textbook description of a libelous comment. Libel, funnily enough, in American law, talking about sex stuff is like a de facto libel judgment. Hi, a name. Just remember that when you put up your comments with your fake accounts, which I can totally get through court records through YouTube, because I can get your IP address and I can sort of sort you out if I wanted to. Remember, that is a de facto judgment. So just be very careful with your court filings, where most recently you and Wim both said that you didn't do business in California or even know anyone in California personally who happened to be affiliated with the method. And that is, technically perjury, which could be bad for your legal case. Anyway, you're probably here in the chat, so hello. How you guys doing? All right, now the next thing, I think it's the last big thing. I have an outline for what I was going to talk about. It's on this pink card. The last thing I want to talk about is the outside story. Yes, here we're going to go with Small Scott again. Hi, it's me, Small Scott. All right, this was cool. Outside Magazine, we'll go up to the top. Anyway, this is the article from Outside Magazine. You could see it, the logo, if I could reorganize my screen, but it's a big pain in the butt to do. Okay, Outside. Now, I have talked to Outside for for like 6 months, I've been talking to Outside, trying to get them to run a story. They saw my original 6,500 word story, which is on my website, scottcarney.com. And now, and they didn't want to run that story. And it's a long discussion we could have about why they didn't run it. But right after the article came out, they decided to jump on board and write this. And so I'm actually pretty excited that this is here. Wim Hof is being sued for the death of a California teenager. The 2022 lawsuit alleges that Hof's breathing exercises caused a 17-year-old girl to drown, and the Dutch health guru seeks to dismiss the charge. That's actually that's pretty much what he's doing. There's Wim in the ice. They talk about the Metzger suit here. They said that she was lying face down in the water. It was, no one actually witnessed it. It was ruled accidental. And then Raphael Metzger, the dad, assumed that she had drowned. Wim is trying to dismiss the lawsuit before he has to present any evidence. And this is super weird, and I don't know why the lawyer did this. The lawyer also sued his ex-wife. And that is not, in my opinion, the most credible thing for a person to do who is running a lawsuit against a major international health organization. So this is sort of what, to me, makes this lawsuit more like a B- lawsuit. Not the actual allegations against Wim as much as like, why are you suing your ex-wife? It looks a little weird, won't lie. And he describes what he said. He says that she had been doing the method, passed out in water, and then he found her. Now, in the proceeding, he says defendants were either unaware or culpably indifferent to the unnecessary risks of injury. And that's sort of the crux of what I'm saying too. And this is why I think that the lawsuit is a B and not a C, because the defendants, and we're talking really about Inner Fire here, are aware of these risks, right? But we see them teaching this on the BBC. We see them teaching this in their online courses, right? And it should never, ever, ever be practiced in water. All right, so look at this. Look at that line, right? It should never be done in water due to the risk of drowning. And that's the crux. It's not like there's an exception, okay? It's not like, okay, well, sometimes you can do it in water if it's a baptism, okay? If it's a baptism, you can do it in water. No, you never scrub and go in water, because the more you do it, the more likely you are to drown. And honestly, a lot of people have written to me saying that they didn't know this was an issue. Again, it's bananas. And those of you who are in the chat who know about my thing for bananas, you can place a banana in the chat, and I will put an Easter egg in there later for anyone who likes bananas. Okay, so Metzger didn't talk to Outside. Incidentally, the lawyer for the case, his name's Scott Brust, was not available. He actually was on vacation. I learned that recently. But Enahm says that this is clearly not true, right? We were shocked. We couldn't believe that a young girl drowned, such a young girl, shocked by the allegations, which don't make any sense to us. This is pretty much what he's written to me too. Actually, in one email he recently wrote me, he called me a psychopath because I'm talking about this. I don't think I'm a psychopath. You can call me other names, but I don't think that one quite fits here. I don't understand why he's shocked, because so her death is like the 14th in a row. So I don't understand why Enahm would be shocked by this. He might be like, oh, that's unfortunate, maybe. But anyway, it is a chorus of growing criticisms against Hof, right? There are, and really the chorus is me and you. He's done all of these events. Critics say these actions, specifically the breath work when performed in water, is dangerous and even deadly. In a recent story published by our hero, Scott Carney, okay, I don't know, I'm probably not your hero, but published by Scott Carney, me, on his website, he claims that multiple people have contacted him about injuries and even deaths resulting from the Wim Hof Method. Carney, who published this book that was a New York Times bestseller, chronicled my criticisms in these two spots. And so there are two things here, right? We have, we have the video, which is the rise and fall of the Wim Hof. No, okay, that doesn't work. Okay, I can't click out of this. But I also have you know, I have this story over here if you haven't seen it. It is, you know, it's 6,500 words. It's a long story. Where was that thing? Anyway, this was actually really nice for them to give me a little shout out here and talk about what exactly had happened. The looming question, and here's my quote. I get to actually quote in this outside article. The looming question is why Wim hasn't stopped. And the answer comes down to his personality. Maybe he just doesn't want to stop. And I think this is right. Why doesn't Wim stop teaching this method? Why has he done it since when I met him in 2013, doing it on his video course and in that BBC special, and now and in those water trainings, right? You know, let's put this water training here. Maybe. Oh wait. Oh, that's too bad. I had the other one, the culty looking circle queued up, but I think I deleted it by accident. Okay, Britt Jackson, who was you know, I interviewed her in my story as well. She is the CEO or executive director of Underwater Hypoxic Blackout Prevention. Actually, that's not the name of it. It's actually called Shallow Water Blackout Prevention. But anyway, people have been contacting her for years, saying that people have been drowning doing the Wim Hof method. And since I've published the article, I've now had contact with 2 people who drowned and then survived a Wim Hof hyperventilation encounter underwater, which brings up my incidents to even more. They did actually survive. Both spent like 9 days in the ICU, but they both lived. So that's why they contacted me, because if they were dead, they don't contact me. And what Jackson says is, from the clips, I've seen that they are doing the hyperventilation in water. It's the recipe for shallow water blackout. Okay. And now Enaham's responses are what he has said many, many times. We have warnings, which they do. There are warnings all over the Wim Hof app. There's an animation. It's in the videos. Like, it's all over the place. But Wim still teaches it. And what they do is they just slap a warning on a video and then let Wim do whatever the hell he wants to do. We teach safety protocols, he says. And this was sort of interesting. Here, if you go up here, engaging. Sorry, my screens are a little messed up. Let me highlight this for you. All right, this quote: "Engaging in these exercises near water increase the risk of shallow water blackout, which can lead to drowning tragically," says one disclaimer. But the instructors who study under Hof, and this is coming from Enahm, and this is super important, instructors who study under Hof must agree to avoid publishing their own videos or teaching online, because he and his father worry that warnings may get ignored. Okay, this is super weird, because the Wim Hof Method instructors who are out there, every single one I have met, I've never met a single one who teaches scrubbing CO2 and going underwater. All of them that I have met know that this is the way to do it. In fact, Wim is the only person who teaches hyperventilating and going underwater on the regular and repeatedly. Many instructors will tell you that Wim Hof is the worst Wim Hof Method instructor. So this is strange, because it's Enahm basically saying, don't teach, to the instructors who are responsible, don't teach responsible underwater stuff. Instead, only let Wim tell you to do stuff. And what Wim tells you is, as we have seen, deadly. And he says he's got safety protocols. There's the 10-week course. I just showed you the video of the 10-week training course. That was at the beginning, where he hyperventilates and goes in the water. You just saw that. You and I have both seen this video now. It's also in my video on the Wim Hof Empire. And then they describe shallow water blackout. And then they talk about some other people who died. And Jackson again says, you don't need even and this is the danger of shallow water blackout. You hyperventilate, you blow off your CO2, you exhale, you will pass out before you feel the urge to breathe. And that is what shallow water blackout is, which means when you just put your face in water, like Wim was doing like this, you don't even realize you have to stand up. You just go out, you breathe in, and you're done. You are done. Enahm says a bunch of other stuff. Tammy says some stuff, and there's legal emotions here. And I did like that they had mentioned that one motion says that Hof has no business interest in California and never sold products in that state, which is weird because he obviously has products available in that state. Okay, we're going back to Big Scott, and now Big Scott is I'm Big Scott. You see, this is Big Scott. Okay, so I want to actually look at some comments now, but also remember, if you really like what I'm doing here, like these sort of live videos and whatnot, you should subscribe to my newsletter. You should leave a comment. And if you're super duper interested in what I'm doing, I'd love you to be a member of my Patreon, and you get all this cool information before it goes live. I just put a video out about Patrick McEwen, and I have a really cool thumbnail for it. It's already on Patreon. It's actually also live on my podcast feed on Spotify as well. Okay, so now I'm going to look at your comments because I wasn't looking at them. Someone, Joanna Richards said, I'm doing something good here. Thank you, Joanna. And Monica said, have you considered reaching out to Rogan? I really want to reach out to Rogan. Anyone that knows Rogan, please let him know I'm here. Elizabeth Masson says, I believe you are doing more than revealing the risks of a dangerous practice. In a previous video, you showed how a charismatic man can gradually slide into a sectarian movement. Thank you, Elizabeth. That is exactly what I'm doing. Because when I wrote this book, The Enlightenment Trap, it was about me following this really amazing Buddhist teacher who ended up teaching people to meditate until someone died on a mountaintop. They really, like all gurus go through this process. Once you start getting big, you get isolated. Once you get isolated, you get crazy. And Wim has gone down that road. Someone said my sound quality is better. Chusical, who's here again, good seeing you again, Chusical, made a funny pun about Enam's name. Ha ha. It's very dirty. Chusical. Do no ego, we go. That's what Wim says all the time, but obviously he has a huge ego. Joanna Richards comes in again and says, my conversations go like this. Isn't it cold? Yes, but it gets rid of inflammation. It helps my lupus. That sounds awful. No, it's probably not for you. No money ever changes hands. Joanna is basically saying here that she does the Wim Hof method for free, and it helps her with her lupus. That's awesome. That's why I'm into the Wim Hof method too. That's why I think this is all great. I'm a fan of not having lupus. And I think that's how most people should interact with it. Don't pay money to the organization. Instead, just go do the cold exposure and don't listen to Wim so much. Winner365 asks, what exactly is wrong with the Wim Hof method and what are the good parts? Well, the method is great. The problem is that Wim is not a good steward of the method that bears his name. That is the problem. The method of going into water and relaxing in that environment allows your body to get stronger in that environment and all environments, and it's great. I do it. I've done it for 10 years. I do the breathing every day. I do the ice baths most days, and it is awesome. The bad parts are that now we have these true believers, and we have people who have thought that they've conflated the method and the man, and we have now a really, really big problem there. We have the problem, which is that it is guru worship. Okay, Wim is this guy who's just out on his own, and he has done great things in the past, and I actually really respect him in general, but he's gone too far. History Blitz says it's wrong to teach people to hyperventilate in water. Yep. Matt Carlo says you can get much better results with pranayama breathing. Agreed. Pranayama is fantastic. There's tons of breathing methods. In fact, if you want to go to my podcast right now and look at Patrick McEwen's Buteyko method, go check that out. It's a different sort of parallel version, opposite version of Wim Hof method. It's slow breathing through the nose, and you're not going to get in too much danger there. History Blitz says, I do the breathing without the cold and it's awesome. Agreed. That's how you should do it. And somebody just wrote that actually shallow water blackout prevention changed its name to underwater hypoxic blackout prevention as of like April 21st. So I was wrong. This is my correction. I was wrong. Someone said on the third day he rose and it is breath. Yeah. And the breathing app is free. Someone said that they hope this doesn't hurt the instructors in the workshops. And I think that's actually really great. Alberto Frarca says that, there is this really great network of Wim Hof Method instructors. They generally teach very, very well. It would be good to preserve that network, right? It would be good to have teachers that have been trained and care about this stuff. And I have never met a Wim Hof Method instructor I haven't liked. That's probably not true. There's probably some guy or gal that I don't like. But in general, the instructors are very, very good. If you sign up for a Wim Hof Method training, even through Inner Fire, you're probably going to get somebody who's really, really great. No problem there. Training with Wim and following Wim's example blindly is dangerous. Someone else says that cold bathing affects fertility. Didn't know that. Maybe I heard something about that. Now there's this last thing that I'd like to point out. The most common criticism for what I'm doing here is that, look, this is people's responsibility. They've done the breathing, they've misunderstood Wim's messages, and it's on them. They made the error, and it's their mistake, and don't put it on Wim. Take some personal responsibility. And you know what? Let's say we go with that logic. Let's say it is personal responsibility, and I'm just an irate American with my lawsuity self, and I want warnings and whatnot, right? Well, if it's personal responsibility we want, then Wim needs to take personal responsibility because he is teaching hyperventilation in water, and people are drowning. Take some personal responsibility, Wim. Don't go out there and just tell me that I have some weird sexual fetish. Don't make multiple accounts and try to remove my videos because of privacy violations, which are clearly fraudulent. Don't do that stuff. Instead, take responsibility, admit you've made a mistake, and then never do that stuff again for the rest of your life. Build a firewall. Stop promoting Wim as his underwater master. That's not even important to the method. That's just flashy stuff that looks good on Instagram. And you don't need to do that anymore. Enahm, you do not need to promote that idea anymore. You already have your big following, your big money, and all that stuff. You can probably survive the rest of your life on that money. And I don't care if you keep it. Go keep it. Stop getting people inadvertently killed. The podcast is available on Spotify. Anyone wants to watch it, I have a really awesome. The Super Film Grisser. He said that I had a sexual fetish. I'm gonna put that one back up online. Here we are. This was from Enahm. Jerry White 999 was an account created the day before this was posted. I'm pretty positive it's Enahm. This is him saying that I have a weird sexual fetish and my wife is about to leave me. I asked her if she was going to leave me because of my weird sexual fetishes. She said no. So that's good. That is good. And one other person said that, can this be fixed with the nature of the internet? And I actually think that's a really salient point. The internet is a problem. We live on short clips. Short clips don't allow context. We want the flashy thing. The thumbnail has to be super catchy, which is why I have like a catchy thumbnail on this video, right? Your headline has to be super flashy, and you have to convey all of this marketing information into a little tiny package, and that little tiny package has to be like, beat out the other tiny packages of information out there. And yes, it's a problem. It's actually not just Wim and Enahm and Inner Fire. It's Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and like the way that they're trying to use our attention against us to do irresponsible things. Yes, Animate Clay, you are right. It's that problem. So anyway, this is my message. Thank you again for listening to my live video. I love the fact that you guys are all here and engaged in these chats. It really means a lot to me. And I wonder how many more of these I'll have to do regarding the Wim Hof Method. There's actually other things that I want to talk about. I've got like 5 videos signed up. And the next one you're going to see is, of course, the Patrick McEwen one. Definitely check that out. It's on Spotify right now. And the other one, which is going to be coming up next week, is going to be on the legalization of psychedelics in America and what that looks like in the future. So that's going to be super exciting, and I think you will enjoy it. And we're not talking about any of of this Wim Hof stuff, I hope. Wouldn't it be great if I didn't have to talk about Wim Hof stuff again for like weeks? Yeah, I think so. All right. Love you all, guys. See you on the internet again soon. Bye.